Hello everybody, Paul Ducklin here from Sophos. Today we're going to be looking at DNS, the domain name system, and at the DNS Changer malware. We're going to start by going back several years, which is when the DNS Changer malware first became widespread, and two of the things it did were as follows. It changed the DNS settings on your computer, and if you had a firewall or a router at home, it sneakily tried to guess your password, log in behind your back, and change the DNS settings on the router itself. By the way, the crooks know all the factory defaults, so please pick a decent router password. In parallel to the malware, the crooks also set up a company and ran a whole raft of DNS servers in the US which would process the DNS requests from their infected computers. Now, the purpose of DNS is to convert internet names into internet numbers, or what we know as IP addresses. So if you're relying on a DNS server that's run by a crook, he can tell you the truth most of the time, but every now and then just silently redirect you to an imposter site somewhere in his own crooknet empire. And he can easily stop you getting at things like security news, updates, patches, and so on. Right. Here's some good news about all of this. The FBI got involved, and they ended up arresting and charging 6 Estonians who are said to have raked in $14 million through this DNS chicanery. And the feds also got a court order allowing them to take over the IP numbers used by the crooks for the dodgy DNS servers and to run clean, legitimate servers instead. Also, the actual infections by DNS Changer dwindled because people removed the malware from their computers. At this point, it all sounds as though the story should end peacefully, doesn't it? But here's some bad news. If you remove malware like DNS Changer, but you don't check and fix your DNS settings at the same time, you will no longer be infected, but you will still be affected. Figures published by the DNS Changer Working Group over the past few months show that lots and lots of computers are still affected. Hundreds of thousands of them, if the truth be told. And yet, here's the bad news I promised you earlier, the FBI's authority to run those interim servers expires on Monday, the 9th of July 2012. If you still haven't fixed your DNS settings by then that's DNS game over for you. No more Facebook, and even worse, no more naked security. So, what should you do about it? Firstly, check that you aren't infected with DNS Changer or indeed with any other malware. That's always a good starting point for a security checkup. And then you need to verify the DNS settings that are in use by your computer and, if you have one, by your router. Sadly, every operating system and every router does this configuration stuff differently, so I can't give you a simple all-in-one solution here. I'm just going to show you 2 examples to give you an idea what to look for, and you'll have to follow your nose from there. So here we go. This is Windows 7. Go to Control Panel, Network and Internet, Network and Sharing Center. I've got one network connection, so I'm going to click on the Local Area Connection link. You might have more than one connection, for example LAN and wireless, so be sure to check out both. Click Properties, choose IP version 4, click again for its properties. Here you see the IP address configuration screen for the network connection. Now, most computers will and should be using Obtain Address automatically, and in techie speak that means use DHCP. If that's what you see here, your computer's okay. Of course, you still need to check your router. But if on this screen you see a DNS server specified with a hardwired IP address, you need to check that it's not one of the ones on the FBI's list. Those are the DNS servers which disappear on the 9th of July. While you're about it, have a look at your ISP's website. I found my own ISP's official DNS server list pretty easily. Right, that's Windows. Let's have a look at reconfiguring a router. To keep myself vendor agnostic, this router is running OpenWRT. I'm going to log in, and right here on the main summary page, I go down to the section WAN status, and here I can read off the DNS servers that are currently being used by my router. These actually came via DHCP from my service provider, And they are correct. I checked them against the official list that I mentioned a moment ago. And that's it. DNS Changer Blackout Avoidance Lesson. Let me summarize. 1. Check that you aren't infected with malware, DNS Changer included. 2. Check the DNS settings on your computer. 3. Check the DNS settings on your router, if you have one. And 4. Check today. Bad DNS settings are the cause of so many network and security problems that it really is worth checking this kind of stuff regularly. By the way, if you're not comfortable digging around in network settings dialogues on your own, try asking an IT-savvy friend or family member to show you how. If you are one of those IT-savvy friends, please be especially obliging over the weekend of the 7th and the 8th of July. Let's make this as easy as possible for everybody. And there you have it, folks. DNS Changer sorted. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay secure.